Smoke Session, and I'm Blaze Stack Up.
I'm Mills.
And it's the podcast where we talk about sports, crypto, music, anything.
Hey, yo, Blaze, let's get into it. This is
the Smoke Session, and I'm Blaze Stack Up.
I'm Mills.
Yeah, man, it's just I guess the episode where we talk about UFOs and what's going on in new spotted ones, 5 of them to be exact. I guess, but could be more, it could be I don't know. I don't really think they're gonna give us what we want to see yet, like the real in-depth good video quality or whatever, but see what we got. Newest UFO sightings of 2026.
On January 12th, 2026, a mass UFO sighting took over multiple cities across Brazil, quickly becoming one of the most discussed UFO incidents in the country in recent years. Throughout the evening, residents from different states began sharing videos of what appeared to be the same unusual object moving through the night sky. Across the videos, the UFO appears as a luminous, cigar-shaped object gliding rapidly through the sky. In total, 4 videos were shared online, each recorded in a different city at around 8 p.m. The first sighting was reported in Miguel Pereira, in the state of Rio de Janeiro. Shortly after, a similar object was filmed in the state of Goiás, nearly 600 miles away. The third and fourth recordings came from Ribeirão Preto and Ibitinga, both located in the state of São Paulo. Beyond these 4 videos, there were additional reports from at least 2 other Brazilian states, although no footage from those locations has surfaced so far. According to eyewitnesses, the object was flying low and fast, did not follow a steady route, and instead vanished abruptly without fading or slowing down. The sheer distance between each sighting raised immediate questions, with some speculating that the same object could not have traveled such vast distances in such a short time, which led some to believe these were separate sightings of similar UFOs. A common explanation put forward was that the phenomenon could have been related to a Starlink satellite launch. However, many witnesses strongly rejected this theory. They noted that the object moved much faster than typical satellites, appeared significantly brighter, and was flying far lower than any satellite would. What made this case even more compelling was its connection to a previous incident that took place on August 9, 2025, when a similar cigar-shaped object was recorded in Rio Grande do Norte, Brazil. In that case, the object was filmed in broad daylight, offering a much clearer view of the UFO. Despite the many witnesses, recordings from different locations, and both daylight and nighttime footage, just like many similar cases involving cigar-shaped UFOs, this sighting remains unexplained. This next sighting takes us to January 14th, 2026, in Pflugerville, Texas, where a mysterious object was captured completely by chance during a live stream. The streamer, known as Chicken Andy, was broadcasting when he and his viewers noticed a strange triangular formation of lights in the sky. Right away, Andy said the objects didn't look like planes, mainly because of how still the orbs appeared. At first, the formation looked like another classic TR-3B sighting, with 3 lights forming a triangle. But after watching for a bit longer, things started to get weird. The bottom left light slowly began drifting to the side and eventually faded out of view. This made it clear that it wasn't a single solid craft, but 3 separate objects. A few minutes later, the top light did the exact same thing, sliding to the left and fading away as well. What makes this case interesting is that Chicken Andy isn't a UFO researcher or enthusiast. His streams are usually about traveling, exploring, and meeting up with other streamers in real life. So this wasn't something he was actively looking for. Some people suggested the lights could have been military flares, but that explanation doesn't fully add up. Flares don't usually stay perfectly still for several minutes and then move off one by one. Others suggested they might have been planes, but none of the lights showed blinking navigation patterns, remaining steady the entire time they were visible. In the end, while drones and planes were mentioned as possible explanations, nothing truly fits the characteristics of the orbs seen in the video. Because of that, the origin of these strange objects over Pflugerville remains unexplained. This sighting happened in April 2025 over Moscow, Russia, but it only really blew up online in early 2026. The video shows a strange saucer-shaped object moving
Think about
across
that
the night
right here.
sky. What stands out right away is its lighting, with several lights that appear to be rotating around the craft and a much brighter green light glowing in the center underneath. There also seems to be a faint trail behind it as it moves, which only adds to how unusual it looks. Throughout the video, Russian air defenses can be seen repeatedly attempting to intercept or take down the UFO. However, according to official reports, despite numerous attempts, they were unable to bring the object down. Authorities claim the object was simply a Russian helicopter mistaken for a foreign craft. However, many people strongly disagree with this explanation. The light pattern doesn't match a helicopter at all, especially the idea of lights arranged around what would be the rotor area and a large green light on the underside. On top of that, reports say the UFO didn't show up on Russian radar, which makes the helicopter theory even harder to believe. The faint trail behind the craft is another detail that doesn't really fit with normal helicopters. Because of all these inconsistencies, the official explanation has been widely rejected online. Many now believe the footage could show a real UFO, or at least something far more advanced or unusual than a standard aircraft. Still, with limited information and no clear follow-up, the true nature of this object remains unknown, and it's very likely we'll never get a clear answer about what was really flying over Moscow that night. Now let's take a look at two very similar sightings that happened just one day apart. Because of how alike they are, there's a chance they could be connected. The first sighting happened on December 25th, 2025, over Sacramento, California. The video shows a bright light racing through the clouds at an insane speed. The object doesn't move like a plane or a helicopter at all. Instead, it darts across the sky and then suddenly vanishes behind the mountains, almost like it shut off or slipped out of view. The second sighting was recorded the very next day, on December 26th, this time in Clayton, North Carolina. Once again, the same phenomenon can be seen, but this time performing different kinds of maneuvers. Both videos quickly went viral, pulling in over 6,000 likes and more than 1,000 comments. Among those comments, many people tried to make sense of the sighting, with the most common explanation being that the lights were simply powerful spotlights shining into the clouds. However, not everyone agreed with that explanation, pointing out that no light beams could be seen coming from the ground, which would normally be expected with spotlights. For such reasons, some believe the lights could be reflections caused by UFOs hidden within the clouds, or even cloaked objects moving above them. In the end, most skeptics brush both videos off as simple light projections, while others remain convinced there's something more going on. With no clear proof either way, both sightings are still unexplained. But before we move to the next sighting, if you've been enjoying the video, please consider subscribing. It's free, and it really supports the channel. This next sighting took place on January 22nd, 2026, when a faint black shape was seen hovering in broad daylight. According to the witness, the object was very far away and barely visible at first, and they watched it for about a minute before recording. The witness also noted that after the short video ended, the object disappeared completely. The UFO was estimated to be around 5 kilometers away, and at one point, they considered that it might be something like a tarp. However, for that to be the case, it would have had to be absolutely massive to be visible from that distance. The object appears to have a triangular shape and looks almost semi-transparent. Even with heavy fog in the area, some details can still be made out, which only adds to how strange it looks. Additionally, the UFO doesn't appear to move erratically or behave like something being carried by the wind. The main explanation proposed was that the unidentified object could have been a murmuration of birds. However, the original poster strongly disagreed with that idea, arguing that from such a distance, a bird murmuration wouldn't even be visible in the video. Because of its unusual appearance, some people began to speculate that the object could have been a cloaked UFO. But with no additional footage, and these two theories still colliding, the incident remains unexplained. But if you want to see 5 more shocking UFO sightings, click the video appearing on your screen right now.
All right. That's it. I didn't really see too much of 2026, but we saw a little something. Something in North Carolina, I guess, went down.
Yeah.
Think it's still some shit going on out here.
I don't know, man. Now all of a sudden it calmed down. I mean, before it was going crazy, unless they ain't just posting it. You know, they focus on something else.
That could be a lot. Our new news is now what we post. You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah,
see what's
yeah.
going on.
Shit, a little wild in the sky still. Know what I mean? So, but I be seeing shit in the skies, planes and shit. Kind of not. I guess they waiting for other planes to go by or something like that. But I be seeing that more frequently now than ever. But it could be anything. Know what I mean, so.
Bang, bang.
I know for a while that shit was going crazy. You know what I mean? But, you know.
Jersey, I don't want to say it calmed down out here, but it's doing what it's doing at all times. What's up, everybody? Who is this? What's going on, Jack? How you doing, man? Thanks for the comment. You know what I mean? Just seeing what's going on with this UFO stuff, seeing if there's something going on in 2026. They say there is. Seen a couple videos, but nothing too crazy. So, but that's pretty much going to end this one, and then we get right back to y'all. You do your hold on one second though.
No, you good.
Oh no, you good. I mean, it's all good though. We was going, we about to wrap this one up anyway. We just wanted to watch the UFO stuff, see what's going on. Newest sightings of 2026. Y'all see any other ones? Send them to us on the IG Smoke Session Podcast. You see it scrolling at the bottom. And yeah, just how it's spelled right near our names. You know what I'm saying? But roll one,
Light one,
pass one,
cold one.
Shout out to Lobos and shout out to everybody that's watching. Y'all stay dangerous.
Stay dangerous.